Have you noticed your legs feeling weaker than they did just a few years ago? Even though nothing in your routine has really changed. Maybe standing up from a chair takes a bit more effort. Maybe short walks make your knees feel shaky or uncertain. Or maybe, though you'd never say it out loud, you've had that quiet fear that one day your legs could give out at the wrong moment. On the stairs, stepping off a curb, or in public. If you felt anything like this, you're not alone. These worries become incredibly common after 60. But here's the surprising part. Your legs aren't getting weaker overnight. They're getting weaker little by little every single week. In tiny ways most people don't even notice until the change becomes obvious. That slight stiffness in the morning. That hesitation when you stand up after sitting. That little wobble when you turn too quickly. These aren't just aging. They're early warnings from your leg muscles, your balance system, and your stabilizers that they're slowly switching off. The good news is, you can switch them back on, and you don't need intense workouts or complicated gym routines to do it. There are 3 simple, gentle exercises that can help your legs feel stronger, steadier, and more responsive again. They're safe for seniors, they're easy to follow, and they wake up the exact muscles aging tends to silence first. But here's something most people never hear. These exercises work dramatically better once you understand the one issue that causes up to 80% of leg weakness after 60. It's not your joints. It's not just getting older. Something far simpler. A tiny group of support and balance muscles that quietly weaken long before you feel it. And once you understand this, everything clicks. The exercises feel different. You start activating the right muscles. You feel more stable when you walk. You feel more in control. And you realize your legs aren't too old. They've just been waiting for the right signals. Most seniors try random leg exercises without ever knowing this secret. And that's why progress feels slow or frustrating. But once you see what's really happening inside your legs, the improvement becomes faster, easier, and far more encouraging. So, before we jump into the very first exercise, the one that gently reactivates your walking muscles and your stabilizers at the same time, let's uncover the simple reason leg weakness accelerates after 60. Because when you understand that, the next 3 exercises won't just feel useful. They'll feel like the missing piece you've been searching for. Before we jump into the first exercise, there's something important you need to understand. Because once you know why your legs weaken so noticeably after 60, every exercise you do will suddenly feel different, easier, more effective, and more meaningful. Most people think leg weakness is just getting older. But that's only a tiny part of the truth. What's really happening inside your legs is much simpler and much more fixable than most seniors are ever told. Your leg strength depends on 3 systems working together: the big muscles that help you walk, the stabilizer muscles that keep you steady, and the balance signals that tell your body how to stay upright. Here's the part almost no one realizes. These 3 systems don't age at the same speed. Your walking muscles might still feel pretty strong, while your stabilizers or your balance reflexes weaken quietly in the background. That's why you might feel wobbly, even if your legs don't feel weak. You might trust your strength, but not your stability. You might notice yourself reaching for a chair or countertop more often, or you might feel your knees tremble slightly when you stand still for too long. Or my favorite example, you start turning your whole body instead of just your feet, because somewhere inside don't quite trust your balance anymore. These are early signs that your stabilizers aren't firing quickly enough. And when that happens, your larger leg muscles try to take over. They weren't designed for that job, so they get tired, heavy, and overworked, even after simple tasks. And there's another hidden factor: sitting. The more time we spend sitting, the faster these stabilizers shut down. Even people who walk every day often sit for hours at a time. And when that happens, Your body gets a message it takes very seriously. You're not using these support muscles, so they're not important right now. So when you stand up to move, the exact muscles responsible for stability and confidence aren't fully awake yet. That creates that familiar feeling of weakness, hesitation, or instability, even if you're someone who stays active. Here's the exciting part. The body is incredibly responsive. You can wake these muscles back up far faster than most people realize. Not with heavy exercise, but with gentle, targeted movements that remind your legs how to support you again. Many seniors say that after doing the right exercises for just a few days, they feel more connected to their legs. Walking feels smoother. Their steps feel safer, and those shaky moments start happening less often now that you understand the simple reason. Leg weakness speeds up after 60. You're ready for the first exercise, the one that reactivates both your big leg muscles and your stabilizers at the same time. It's easy, it's safe, and chances are no one has ever shown it to you this way before. Let's dive into exercise number 1. Now that you understand why leg weakness can show up so suddenly after 60, let's get into the very first exercise, and don't let its simplicity fool you. This movement is far more powerful than it looks. In fact, many seniors who try it for the first time are surprised by how quickly they feel their legs switch on, almost like turning on a light that's been dim for years. What makes this exercise special is that it doesn't just work your legs. It gently activates your hips, knees, core, and balance system all at once. The exact combination you need to feel steadier when you walk, turn, or get up from a chair. But before I show you how to do it, I want you to keep one thing in mind. Slow beats fast. Every time. A lot of people think faster movement means better results. But especially after 60, slow, controlled movement builds strength more safely and more effectively. Think of it like reminding your muscles how to follow instructions again. You're not forcing them, you're waking them up. And that's exactly why this first exercise works so well. Exercise number 1. The supported sit-to-standoff. Probably seen a version of this before, but this one is designed specifically for seniors. Gentle, safe, and incredibly effective at reactivating the stabilizers. Aging tends to silence. Here's how to do it. Sit on a sturdy chair that doesn't move. Plant your feet flat on the floor, about shoulder width apart. Rest your hands lightly on the armrests or your thighs, just for balance. Not to push yourself up. Slowly shift your weight forward until you feel your body naturally want to rise. You'll feel a slight engagement in your hips. That's exactly what we want. Pause for a moment. Gently stand up, using as little hand support as you safely can. Once you're standing, stay relaxed. Don't lock your knees. Just stand naturally. Then, lower yourself back down slowly, keeping the movement controlled the entire way. That's 1 repetition. And here's the magic. If you do this too fast, momentum takes over and you lose almost all the benefits. But when you go slow, your stabilizers have no choice but to wake up and support you. Many seniors say that after just a few slow repetitions, they feel their legs working in a way they haven't felt in years. Some feel more support around their knees. Others describe a sense of connection, like their brain and their legs are finally communicating again. Do just 5 to 8 slow reps, once or twice a day, and you may be surprised by how much steadier or lighter your legs feel. Not because of a miracle, but because you're finally reactivating the muscles that aging slowly puts to sleep. Now that you've mastered exercise number 1, let's move on to exercise number 2, the one that strengthens your balance system itself, helping every step you take feel safer and more secure. If exercise number 1 helps wake up your main leg muscles, think exercise number 2 focuses on something just as important, reconnecting your balance system. This is the part of your body that quietly keeps you steady, centered, and safe with every step. turn, and reach you make. And here's something most people never hear until it's already a problem. Your balance doesn't fail suddenly. It fades slowly, quietly, and almost always shows small warning signs first. Maybe you've noticed moments like these. You turn too quickly and feel a brief wobble. Stepping off a curb makes your body take an extra second to catch up. Reaching for something on a higher shelf feels less steady than it used to. You find yourself grabbing railings more often, just in case. These moments aren't clumsiness. They're your body whispering that your balance reflexes are getting slower. And when those reflexes slow down, your legs have to work much harder to keep you upright. That's exactly why exercise number 2 is so valuable. Exercise number 2, the supported heel-toe hold. This movement is simple, gentle, and surprisingly effective at reactivating the small stabilizer muscles in your feet, ankles, and hips, the same muscles that protect you from slips, missteps, and those sudden wobbles that feel unpredictable. Here's how to do it. Stand next to a sturdy chair, countertop, or table, something you can lightly touch for support. Place one foot directly in front of the other, heel touching or almost touching the toes, like you're standing on a narrow line. It doesn't have to be perfect. Even a small heel-to-toe distance activates the right muscles. Keep your chest lifted and your eyes focused on a steady point in front of you. Hold the position for 10 to 20 seconds. Switch feet and repeat. The goal isn't to wobble as much as possible. Quite the opposite. You want to feel gently challenged, not unstable. That mild challenge is what wakes up the stabilizers aging tends to turn off. Many seniors report that after practicing this exercise for a week, everyday movement feels noticeably smoother. Turning feels more controlled. Stepping sideways feels more secure. Walking on grass, gravel, or uneven floors no longer feels as unpredictable. Some even notice an improvement in posture. Their body simply feels more aligned. And here's something most people don't realize. Balance training is often the missing piece of the puzzle. People try walking more or doing leg exercises, but they forget about the tiny muscles that keep them upright, the ones that make a huge difference in everyday confidence. This exercise requires no equipment, takes less than 2 minutes a day, and becomes easier the more you practice it. And with every session, you're rebuilding a sense of control that many seniors don't even realize they've lost. Now that you've strengthened your main leg muscles and reactivated your balance system, you're ready for exercise number 3, the movement that targets your hips, the true foundation of strong, stable legs. Now that your main leg muscles are waking back up, and your balance system is starting to respond faster, it's time for the final movement, the one that quietly controls almost everything about how strong and steady your legs feel after 60. And most people don't even realize it's weakening. I'm talking about your hips. If your legs have ever felt heavy, if standing gets tiring faster than it used to, if sideways steps feel awkward, or if your legs sometimes feel like they just won't cooperate, there's a good chance your hip muscles are the reason. When the hips weaken, the rest of the lower body tries to pick up the slack. Your knees work too hard, your lower back compensates, and simple movements feel more effortful than they should. Here's the surprising truth. Your hips are the silent engine of your legs. They don't just move you forward, they keep you upright, steady, and confident. And when these muscles wake back up, something amazing happens for many seniors. Their walking feels smoother. Their steps feel lighter. Turning, standing, and getting out of the car suddenly feel more controlled. It's subtle at first, but it builds quickly. That's why exercise number 3, the gentle side leg lift with support, is such an important. In addition to this routine, it targets the exact muscles that aging tends to switch off first, even in people who stay active. Here's how to do it. Stand next to a sturdy chair or countertop. and lightly hold on with one hand. Keep your feet facing forward and your back straight. Then slowly lift one leg out to the side, just a few inches, nothing dramatic. The goal isn't height, it's control. Pause for a moment at the top, okay? Then gently lower your leg back, down, switch sides, and repeat. If you're doing it correctly, you'll feel a small activation along the side of your hip, almost like a tiny light turning back on after being dim for a long time. That's the muscle responsible for keeping your pelvis stable with every single step you take. And here's something most people never learn until it's too late. Walking doesn't activate this muscle. Not fully, not consistently. Why so many seniors develop imbalance, stiffness, or that scary feeling that their legs might slip out from under them during quick movements. The gentle side leg lift helps correct exactly that, safely and gently. Aim for 8 to 10 slow repetitions on each side, once a day. Most people notice that within a week, their legs feel more stable and their steps feel more controlled. Not because the exercise is difficult, but because it targets the part of the body that quietly holds everything else together. Now that you've unlocked all 3 exercises, let's pull everything together and imagine what the next few weeks could feel like once these muscles start working for you again. Now that you've learned all 3 exercises, one that wakes up your main leg muscles, one that reactivates your balance system, okay, and one that strengthens the hips that hold everything together. This is where everything finally clicks, because the real transformation doesn't happen from doing these movements once. It happens when they start working together. And what surprises most seniors is how quickly this combination can make your legs feel different. Not younger in age, but younger in responsiveness, more connected, more dependable, more alive. So, take a moment and imagine this. You go to stand up from a chair, and instead of pushing through that brief moment of hesitation, your legs simply respond, smoothly, naturally. Or imagine walking through a store or across your living room and noticing that your steps feel steadier, almost like your legs are finally listening again. Picture stepping off a curb, turning around in the kitchen, or reaching for something on a high shelf, and not worrying for that split second about whether your legs will fully support you. These aren't dramatic changes. They're subtle at first, but they're the kind of subtle that you feel, the kind that builds day after day. Because what these exercises really do is help reconnect with muscles that aging tends to quiet down. Once those muscles come back online, even a little, your body starts moving with more confidence, more awareness, more control. But here's the rehook. These improvements don't come from intensity. They come from consistency. A few minutes a day, done slowly and gently, is far more powerful than pushing yourself hard once in a while. Your muscles, your stabilizers, and your balance system respond to repetition, not strain. And there's another bonus. Many people notice within a week they start paying attention to how their body moves. They stand a little taller. They walk a little smoother. They hesitate less. Those small hesitations are often what lead to missteps. So feeling more connected to your body is a huge win on its own. So here's your simple challenge. Try this routine for the next 7 days, just 5 to 10 minutes a day. No rushing, no forcing, no pushing through discomfort. If you miss a day, don't worry. Just pick it back up the next day. By the end of the week, you may notice surprisingly meaningful shifts, steadier steps, more responsive legs, better balance, and a growing sense of confidence each time you move. And now that you've reached this point, let's wrap up with one final message, something that ties all of this together and gives your viewers the encouragement they need to start. Keep going and truly trust the process.